She had barely enough to eat, she wore torn shoes, and worked 2 jobs just to survive. But one rainy afternoon, she gave her last meal to a shivering old woman. What she didn't know? That woman was the mother of the most powerful man in the city, and what happened next changed her life forever. Mira lived on the edges of the city, where the street lights flickered, the rent was barely affordable, and dreams often faded under the weight of survival. She worked 2 jobs, scrubbing office floors during the day and cleaning hotel rooms by night. Her shoes were worn thin, her fingers always sore, but she never complained. Life had not been kind to Mira, but somewhere beneath her tired eyes, her heart still held warmth. One rainy afternoon, as Mira made her way home, the skies opened and poured like they hadn't in weeks. Her coat was soaked, and her bag barely kept her few belongings dry. She passed a quiet bus stop where an old woman sat alone, shivering in the cold. Her hands trembled as she tried to shield herself with a piece of plastic. She looked fragile, forgotten by the world. Mira paused. She didn't have much, just a scarf around her neck and a small container of leftover soup she was saving for dinner. Her stomach growled, but something about the old woman made her stop. Without hesitation, she took off her scarf and gently placed it around the woman's shoulders. Then she opened her bag, took out the soup and bread, and handed it over. The woman looked up, surprised, her eyes glistening with moisture, not from the rain, but something deeper. "Why are you helping me?" she asked softly. Mira offered a tired smile. "Because you look like you've had a hard day, and everyone deserves kindness, especially when the world forgets." What Mira didn't know was that this woman was no ordinary elder. Her name was Mama Ebele, the mother of Daniel Okoro, a billionaire CEO known for building his empire from scratch and keeping his circle small. Though powerful and respected, Daniel had one weakness: his mother. He called her every night without fail, and that night, when she didn't answer, a sharp fear gripped him. He traced the emergency GPS tracker she wore and was stunned to find it pinging from a low-income neighborhood miles from her usual path. He rushed out of his high-rise office, heart pounding, thinking the worst. But when he arrived, he found her safe, sitting at the bus stop, wrapped in a stranger's scarf, eating a humble meal with a soft smile on her face. "Mother!" he called, running toward her. She turned and beamed at him. "I'm fine, my son. I was just reminded today that goodness still exists." She pointed to Mira, who stood silently in the rain, unsure of what to say or do. "She gave me her food, her scarf. She didn't know who I was. She just cared." Daniel turned to Mira, looking her up and down. He saw the frayed edges of her coat, the tired slump of her shoulders, and the kindness still glowing in her eyes. "You helped my mother?" he asked quietly. Mira nodded. She needed help. That's all that mattered. The next day, Mira returned to the hotel where she worked, expecting another long shift, but her name was missing from the assignment list. Her heart dropped. Had she been fired? She rushed to her manager, panic rising in her chest. "I need this job," she pleaded. "Please don't let me go." Her manager looked at her, smiled, and said, "You've been offered something better." Just then, a sleek black car pulled up outside. Mira watched in confusion as Daniel stepped out, now dressed not in panic, but in purpose. "I've been looking for you," he said gently. "My mother told me what you did. She hasn't stopped talking about it." He handed her an envelope. Inside was a formal letter offering her a new job, not as a cleaner, but as his mother's personal assistant, with a full salary, benefits, and a chance at a new life. Mira's hands shook as she read the letter, her eyes wide with disbelief. "I don't know what to say," she whispered, tears welling up. Mama Ebele walked over and took her hand. "Just promise me you'll keep that beautiful heart of yours. The world needs more people like you." From that day forward, Mira's life changed. She moved into a warm apartment near the company headquarters. She traveled with Mama Ebele, helped manage her charities, and slowly began building dreams of her own. The woman who once had nothing became someone who inspired others, not because of the reward she received, but because of the kindness she gave without expecting anything in return. And though her life had transformed, Mira never forgot that rainy day, the woman at the bus stop, and the simple truth that changed everything. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can open the door to the greatest miracles.